Room temperature. Not cold. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Chanda Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from the Srimad-bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10, verses 17 through 20.
Сегодня 10-я песня, 9-я песня, 10 глава, тексты с 17 по 20.
And we'll chant the Sanskrit for verse 17.
Начинаем с 17-го.
Savanarendra Balaruda Vihara Koshta Okay. Savanarendra Palapuruda Vihara Koshta Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbhajamana Nishana Dwaja Hema Kumbha Shringataka Gajakulaya Radiniva Gurna Savanarendra Balaruda Vihara Koshta Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Malavi Vitanga Nirbhajamana Nishana Dwaja Hema Kumbha Shringataka Kajakula Hridina Iva Gurna Savanarendra Balaruda Vihara Koshta Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbhajamana Dishana Dwaja Hema Kumbha Shringataka Gajakulaya Radiniva Gurna Savanarendra Balaruda Vihara Koshta Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbhajamana Dishana Dwaja Hema Kumbha Shringataka Gajakula Hridaniva Gurna Savanarendra Balaruda Vihara Koshta Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbhajamana Nishana Dwaja Hema Kumbha Shringataka Gajakula Hridaniva Gurna Savanarendra Balaruda Vihara Koshta Shri Bhara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbachavana Dishana Dvajahema Kumbha Shringataka Gachakula Radaniva Gorna Savanarendra Balarudra Vihara Koshta Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbhajamana Dishana Dvajahema Kumbha Shringataka Gachakula Hridaniva Gorna Savanarendra Balarudra Vihara Koshta Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbhajamana Nishana Dvajahema Kumbha Shringataka Gachakulaya Hridaniva Gorna Savanarendra Balarudra Vihara Kosha Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbhajamana Dishana Dvajahema Kumbha Rataka Gachakulaya Hridaniva Gorna
Okay, I will. Savanir Vanarendra Bala Ruta Vihara Koshta
Vanarendra Balarudra Vihara Kosha
Shri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka
Sri Dwara Gopura Sado Valavi Vitanka Nirbhajamana Dishana Dvajahema Kumbha Shringataka Gajakula Radaniva Gorna Okay, word for word. Sa, the place known as Lanka. Vanara Indra, of the great chiefs of the monkeys. Bala, by the strength. Ruda, stopped, encircled. Vihara, pleasure houses. Koshta, the places where food grains were stocked. Shri, the treasury houses. Dwara, the doors of palaces. Gopura, the gates of the city. Sada, the assembly houses. Balavi, the frontage of great palaces. Vitanka, the rest houses for the pigeons. Nirbhajamana, in the process of being dismantled. Dishana, platforms. Dwaja, the flags. Hemakumbha, golden water pots on the domes. Shringataka, and the crossroads. Gajakulai, by herds of elephants. Pradini, a river. Eva, like. Gurna, agitated. Translation. After entering Lanka, the monkey soldiers, led by chiefs like Sugriva, Nila, and Hanuman, occupied all the sporting houses, granaries, treasuries, palace doorways, city gates, assembly houses, palace frontages, and even the resting houses of the pigeons. When the city's crossroads, platforms, flags, and golden water pots on its domes were all destroyed by the entire city of Lanka appeared like a river disturbed by a herd of elephants.
Перевод 17 стиха. «Войдя в Ланку, воины обезьяны во главе с Сугривой, Нилой и Хануманом наводнили весь город. Они заняли все места увеселений, амбары, сокровищницы, ворота, порталы, дома собраний, фасады домов и даже голубиные гнезда. Когда городские перекрестки, башни, флаги и золотые сосуды на куполах были разрушены, весь город Ланка стал напоминать реку, взбаламученную стадом слонов».
So there's no purport for this verse. So we'll read the next verse. When Ravana, the master of the Rakshasas, saw the disturbances created by the monkey soldiers, he called for Nikumba, Kumbha, Dormraksha, Dormukha, Surantaka, Narantaka, and other Rakshasas, and also his son Indrajit. Thereafter he called for Prahasta, Atikaya, Vikampana, and finally Kumbhakarna. Then he induced all his followers to fight against the enemies.
Следующий стих. «Когда Равана, повелитель Ракшасов, увидел, что творят воины обезьяны, он призвал на бой Никумбху, Кумбху, Dhumrakshu, Дурмукху, Сурантаку, Нарантаку и других ракшасов, а также своего сына Индраджита. Потом он вызвал Прахасту, Атикаю, Викампану и, наконец, Кумбхакарну. Вслед за тем он созвал всех своих сторонников и отправил их биться с врагом».
And next verse. Lord Ramacandra, surrounded by Lakshman and monkey soldiers like Sugriva, Hanuman, Agandamada, Nila, Angada, Jambavan, and Panasa, attacked the soldiers of the Rakshasas, who were fully equipped with various invincible weapons like swords, lances, bows, prasas, rishtis, shakti arrows, khadgas, and tomaras.
Господь Рамачандра вместе с Лакшманой и воинами-обезьянами, Сугривой, Хануманом, Гандхамадой, Нилой, Ангадой, Джамбаваном и Панасой и другими вступил в бой с войском ракшасов, которые до зубов были вооружены неотразимым оружием разного рода – мечами, пиками, луками, прасами, ришти, стрелами, шакти, кхадгами и тумарами.
And then verse 20, Angada and other commanders of the soldiers of Ramacandra faced the elephants, infantry, horses, and chariots of the enemy and hurled against them big trees, mountain peaks, clubs, and arrows. Thus the soldiers of Lord Ramacandra killed Ravana's soldiers who had lost all good fortune because Ravana had been condemned by the anger of Mother Sita.
Ангада и другие военачальники армии Рамачандры столкнулись в бою с пешими воинами, слонами, лошадьми и колесницами и стали забрасывать их большими деревьями, макушками гор и палицами и стрелами. Так воины Господа Рамачандры разгромили войско Раваны, которое было обречено на поражение из-за того, что гнев Сита-деви навлек проклятие на голову Раваны.
Srila Prabhupada's purport.
Комментарий.
The soldiers Lord Ramacandra recruited in the jungle were all monkeys and did not have proper equipment with which to fight the soldiers of Ravana. Ravana's soldiers were equipped with weapons of modern warfare, whereas the monkeys could only throw stones, mountain peaks, and trees.
Комментарий. Все войско Господа Рамачандры состояло из обезьян, живших в джунглях, и потому не было так хорошо вооружено, как войско Раваны. Воины Раваны владели самым совершенным оружием, а обезьяны могли только бросать камни, макушки гор и деревья.
It was only Lord Ramacandra and Lakshman who shot some arrows, but because
Лишь изредка Господь Рамачандра и Лакшмана пользовались луками и стрелами.
But because the soldiers of Ravana were condemned by the curse of Mother Sita, the monkeys were able to kill them simply by throwing stones and trees.
Однако воины Раваны были обречены на поражение проклятием Сита-деви, поэтому обезьяны смогли уничтожить их, просто бросая в них камни и деревья.
There are two kinds of strength, Daiva and Purushakara.
Есть две силы – Дайва и Пурушакара.
Daiva refers to the strength achieved from transcendence, and Purushakara refers to the strength organized by one's own intelligence and power.
Дайва – это духовная сила, подчеркнутая из иного мира, а Пурушакара – это сила, основанная на собственном разуме и способностях.
Transcendental power is always superior to the power of the materialist.
Духовная сила всегда превосходит силу материальную.
Depending on the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one must fight one's enemies even though one may not be equipped with modern weapons.
Полагаясь на милость Верховного Господа, человек может победить врага, даже если не владеет современным оружием.
Therefore, Krishna instructs Arjuna, Mam anusmara yuja cha. Think of me and fight.
Именно поэтому Кришна наставляет Арджуну: «Мам анусмара юдьяча». Думай обо мне и сражайся.
We must fight our enemy to the best of our ability, but victory must depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Думай обо мне и сражайся. Именно поэтому Кришна столь разум. Думай обо мне и сражайся. Когда воин бьется с врагом, он должен делать все, на что способен. Но, чтобы победить, мы должны уповать на милость Верховного Господа. Конец комментария.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Ganachana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So Srila Prabhupada is describing here two kinds of strength.
Шрила Прабхупада здесь описывает два вида силы.
One kind of strength or power is that which one has from their own personal material intelligence and bodily strength and so on.
Один вид силы, это силы, могущество, это та сила, которую человек в материальном мире обладает. То есть это его сила, интеллект, разум, способность принимать решения.
And their intelligence.
Разум.
And then the other kind of strength is what we call spiritual strength.
А другой вид силы мы называем ее духовная сила.
That spiritual strength means that you have full faith in Lord Krishna and in the mission of Lord Krishna.
И духовная сила подразумевается, что у нас есть полная вера в Кришну и в его миссию.
And because we have that faith, then Lord Krishna will carry what we lack.
Благодаря нашей вере Господь Кришна Он будет давать все, что мы заслуживаем.
Sometimes just like Srila Prabhupada, so sometimes the fight is not always a fight like in a war, but but one must make some endeavors, say, like for example, for spreading the Krishna consciousness movement.
Борьба не всегда подразумевает именно такие какие-то военные действия. Это может быть, например, распространение сознания Кришны.
Just like Srila Prabhupada, his spiritual master had instructed him at the very first meeting.
На самой первой встрече духовный учитель Шрила Прабхупады дал наставление ему.
Very first time Srila Prabhupada saw his Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, it was at the coaxing of a friend of his. Let's go and see that saintly person, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta.
Первый раз Шрила Прабхупада увидел своего духовного учителя, когда его друг пригласил его послушать лекцию Бхактисиддханты Сарасвати.
So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was in one place, and he was beginning to speak. He was giving his lecture that night.
И в одном месте он должен был начать лекцию вечером.
And Srila Prabhupada and his friend, they went into the room and sat down, bowed down, and as they're sitting up, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta immediately says, "You are educated young men."
И когда он зашел туда, где сидел Бхактисиддханта Сарасвати, принес поклоны и поднял голову, то Бхактисиддханта сразу обратился к Прабхупаде и сказал: «Ты молодой образованный человек.
You're educated young men, so you should go and you should preach to the English-speaking, preach Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking people.
И дальше он сказал, что ты должен распространять сознание Кришны, точнее проповедовать сознание Кришны тем, кто говорит на английском.
And Srila Prabhupada was actually very impressed that here's a sadhu who's actually seeing him for the first time and saying, and you go and you preach about Krishna.
Шрила Прабхупада был восхищен, потому что он пришел, и такой великий саду обращается непосредственно к нему и дает ему наставление проповедовать про Кришну.
So from that moment, Srila Prabhupada was thinking, when in my life will I be able to do what he has told me to do, to preach Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking people.
Вот, и Шрила Прабхупада тогда подумал, что как же теперь дальше моя жизнь сложится, потому что этот саду, он дал мне наставление проповедовать сознание Кришны тем, кто говорит на английском.
So Srila Prabhupada was, he was young at that point. He had his wife. He had more than one child, and a few children, I think, at that point. And he was thinking, how can I go and preach Krishna consciousness anyway? I'm completely entangled in my household life.
И в то время Шрила Прабхупада был достаточно молодой человек, вот, у него уже было несколько детей, и он подумал тогда, ну как же я смогу проповедовать со всеми своими, так сказать, обязанностями.
But during that same time, Srila Prabhupada started writing his Back to Godhead magazine.
И в то же самое время Шрила Прабхупада начал издавать журнал «Назад к Богу».
And that, which of course was in English, so he was trying to start off by following Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's instruction and preach in English.
И what book? What book?
But back to Godhead, the original Back to Godhead, Srila Prabhupada started when he was in India as a householder.
Да, и то есть и будучи домохозяином, Шрила Прабхупада начал выпускать этот журнал «Назад к Богу».
Anyway, fast forward, many years later, Srila Prabhupada got an opportunity to actually come to America and preach.
И много лет спустя по какой-то возможности Шрила Прабхупада отправился в Америку проповедовать.
And Srila Prabhupada, by that time, Srila Prabhupada was to cross the ocean. He was already, he was 70 years old. Actually, had his 70th birthday on the way over.
То есть Шрила Прабхупада должен был пересечь океан, и в тот период ему было 70 лет уже.
And Srila Prabhupada's health was not particularly good.
Здоровье его было не особо хорошим.
He at that point had already taken sannyas, so he had no money because there's no income.
И также в тот промежуток он принял саньясу недавно, и, соответственно, у него не было денег, поскольку никаких доходов не было.
He had no one to, except for a sponsor who would host him for 1 month. When he arrived in America, he had no plans, nothing. He was completely depending on the mercy of Krishna.
И поскольку у него не было спонсора, который бы помог ему добраться до Америки, там основаться, то он ехал сам, и поэтому у него не было никаких планов, он ничего не планировал, потому что полностью полагался на Кришну.
And then, of course, on the way over, two consecutive nights, Srila Prabhupada had heart attacks, apparently very severe heart attacks from his description.
И также он был в этой дороге, он испытал 2 сердечных приступа.
And of course, many other challenges over the years.
И, конечно, еще много различных вызовов было на протяжении лет.
So, in spite of those challenges, Srila Prabhupada obviously succeeded in spreading Krishna consciousness everywhere.
И Шрила Прабхупада, он, несмотря на вот эти вот препятствия, он продолжал распространять сознание Кришны повсюду, по всему мире.
So, if someone, going with the purport here, if someone attempted to do that and they were thinking, oh, only by my personal ability, by my money, by my followers, I can, others that can help me to do this job, by all that, then yes, then maybe I can succeed. Someone might think like that, by thinking in terms of their own physical, mental, intellectual ability.
И то есть он продолжал сохранять свою вот эту вот, способности, решимость идти, распространять сознание Кришны, невзирая на те множество различных проблем, которые приходили.
But Srila Prabhupada he didn't have any of that. He didn't have money, he didn't have followers, he didn't have any kind of support from anyone. He was simply crossing the ocean, trying to carry out the instructions of his spiritual master had given him many years before.
То есть у него не было, представьте, у него не было денег с собой, не было у него никакого спонсора, не было никаких мест, где бы он мог жить там в Америке. И он пересекал океан, и единственное, что у него было, это наставление его духовного учителя.
So Srila Prabhupada always said the only success, the only reason, cause of success in this mission was because he had firm faith in his spiritual master's instructions, and he trusted his spiritual master, and by his spiritual master's mercy, Srila Prabhupada felt everything was going to go forward very nicely.
И Шрила Прабхупада говорил, что его вот эта причина успеха, почему все получилось, потому что у него просто была твердая вера в своего духовного учителя и строгое следование. То есть он очень строго следовал этим всем наставлениям, и он объясняет так свой этот успех.
That which would normally have been impossible for an ordinary person became possible because Srila Prabhupada remembered his spiritual master and he remembered Lord Chaitanya.
И то, что для обычного человека кажется невозможным, то Шрила Прабхупада это невозможно сделал возможным. Это все по милости Шри Чайтаньи и Кришны.
In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a verse stating essentially, for one who remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very difficult things become very easy to perform.
И Шрила Прабхупада говорил, что тот, у кого есть вера в сознание Кришны, то даже недостижимые вещи, они становятся очень легко выполнимы.
And for one who fails to remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very easy things become very difficult to perform.
Но если у человека нет веры в Господа Чайтанью Махапрабху, то даже очень легкие вещи будет очень тяжело выполнить.
And it's also said that one remembers Lord Chaitanya, when he does, a lame man can what, cross mountains. Is that it? I don't know the Sanskrit or Bengali. Oh.
Still he becomes an eloquent speaker.
Yes.
And he's able to climb mountains.
Yeah.
One who is not able to
One who's lame.
he's not able to walk. Such a person can climb mountains by the mercy of scripture.
Yes. If you keep, yes.
То есть по милости духовного учителя, это вот этот стих, где говорится, что слепой может, то есть хромой может перейти горы, там слепой что-то может тоже сделать, там видеть сможет, и в общем, ну, по милости духовного учителя возможны любые достижения.
And then also, Krishna says, sorry, not coming to my mind now. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna says, Krishna will carry what they lack. I carry what they lack. If the devotee tries to become Krishna conscious or serve a Krishna conscious way, Krishna will carry what we lack, so that we are successful.
И если преданный старается и выполняет преданное служение, желая достать удовольствие Кришне, то Кришна уже заботится о том, чтобы то есть Кришна, он одаривает такого преданного удачей.
So we see that very much in the life of Srila Prabhupada.
И мы видели это много раз в жизни самого Шрила Прабхупады.
Externally, Srila Prabhupada, when we knew him, was an old man with not very good health, no money, nothing when he started preaching Krishna consciousness.
Внешне, если мы посмотрим на Шрилу Прабхупаду, то это был пожилой человек, у которого не было денег, у которого было не совсем здоровое тело, и как он мог вообще распространить сознание Кришны?
But Srila Prabhupada had firm faith in his spiritual master.
Но у Шрилы Прабхупады была эта твердая вера в духовного учителя.
And he had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, that if we make this endeavor, Lord Chaitanya says that this movement will be spread to every town and village in the world. We just have to make the endeavor.
И мы должны прикладывать усилия в том, чтобы распространить это движение по всему миру, потому что это говорил об этом Господь Чайтанья.
So because Srila Prabhupada had that firm faith in his spiritual master, and he not just believing, but he also used his mind, his body, his intelligence to the fullest extent, to his fullest ability to see how he could spread this Krishna consciousness movement.
И Шрила Прабхупада вот в этих вот своих подходах к тому, как распространить это движение сознания Кришны, он задействовал все свои ресурсы, возможности, которые у него были. Это и разум, и тело, и речь. То есть он все задействовал вот в этой миссии.
And because Srila Prabhupada gave everything that he had to give, then Krishna carried what he lacked.
И поскольку Шрила Прабхупада вот принес все, что у него было, и для этой миссии, то Кришна в свою очередь давал ему то, что ему было нужно.
Srila Prabhupada came with no money, but by Lord Krishna's arrangement, in time, so much money came in through Srila Prabhupada's preaching endeavor.
То есть Шрила Прабхупада приехал без денег, но через какое-то время уже Кришна увидел все его старания, и уже тогда к Шриле Прабхупаде уже приходить начали деньги.
Srila Prabhupada came with no followers from India, and he had no support from India or from anywhere else, but he came and he attempted to spread this Krishna consciousness movement to his best ability, and then by Krishna's arrangement, so many followers came.
Также Шрила Прабхупада приехал один, у него не было никаких философов, не было никаких учеников, и он продолжал это делать. И когда, и через время у него уже было много последователей, потому что Кришна увидел, что он делает это, миссию выполняет независимо от того, есть у него что-то или нету.
Srila Prabhupada was even advised, bad advice, but he was given advice, if you want to get followers in this country, in America, you have to change your dress to Western dress, you have to learn how to eat with a knife and a fork, like the Western people, change your diet, all these things, then people will follow you.
И вот эти все его преданные со временем ученики, они полностью переняли учение Шрилы Прабхупады. Это, к примеру, то, что они перестали носить костюмы, стали ходить в вайшнавской одежде, перестали есть ложками, стали есть руками. То есть таким образом Шрила Прабхупада, он
But Srila Prabhupada didn't come here looking for followers. He came here to give Krishna consciousness.
Шрила Прабхупада приехал не для того, чтобы собрать последователей, а для того, чтобы дать людям сознание Кришны.
But of course, when he was trying to give Krishna consciousness, then some sincere souls came forward and became followers. But his goal was not to get many followers and money and everything himself. He just wanted to give Krishna consciousness.
И Кришна ему все посылал, и деньги, и последователей, поскольку Прабхупада, он не выражал желания обладать этим. Единственное его желание было это дать сознание Кришны другим.
Anyway, this Srila Prabhupada, of course, did what he did as is also an example for us to try to follow.
И поскольку Шрила Прабхупада, он показал этот пример, то он также показал этот пример нам, как нужно следовать.
And of course, as we go on in our spiritual lives, trying to do our part in becoming Krishna conscious, then there also will be so many challenges.
Конечно, мы продолжаем нашу духовную жизнь и вводим в нее какие-то новые всегда дополнения, но и также мы понимаем, что много вызовов к нам приходит и будет приходить.
But the same principle as with Srila Prabhupada, if we give everything that we have the ability to give, then Krishna will use us to do something to help others become Krishna conscious and help ourselves become Krishna conscious.
И люди, когда они начинают следовать и вести себя так, как ведут себя те, кто в сознании Кришны, то они также становятся осознающими Кришну.
There was a very nice example I personally saw parts of it back in, what year was it? It was the late 70s somewhere. When the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita was published in 2 months.
Вся Чайтанья Чаритамрита была опубликована в течение 2 месяцев.
Of course, that's a long story, so I can't go into everything. But Srila Prabhupada had given the instruction to some devotees in our English BBT. I've already translated the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, and you haven't even started to publish it. You haven't published it yet.
То есть он сказал, что я написал Чайтанья Чаритамриту, и вы теперь должны опубликовать ее.
So Srila Prabhupada gave the order that in 2 months, this was up till Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja, that upcoming Vyas Puja, in 2 months, by this date, you must have in print all 17 volumes. At that time it was 17 volumes of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It must be in print in 2 months.
И Шрила Прабхупада, он дал приказ такой своим ученикам, что через 2 месяца вы должны напечатать мне Чайтанью Чаритамриту. На тот момент это было 17 глав. Вот, и то есть 2 месяца даем на это.
And of course, when Srila Prabhupada gave the instruction to devotee in charge of the BBT, he said, that is impossible.
И когда Шрила Прабхупада дал это наставление преданному, который отвечал за BBT, и тот ответил, что Прабхупада, это невозможно.
It takes us 2 or 3 months just to print one book, to publish one book. What to speak of 17, actually it was 18 books, 17 for the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there was 1 Srimad-bhagavatam volume. So there actually were 18 books. Yeah.
То есть тот ученик сказал, Шрила Прабхупада, невозможно это сделать за 2 месяца. Только 1 книга будет печататься месяца 3. А там, представьте, было 17 книг и еще там какой-то Бхагаватам.
So Srila Prabhupada, as soon as he heard impossible, Srila Prabhupada said, what? Impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary.
И когда тот сказал, невозможно это, Прабхупада сказал, что невозможно, это слово из этого глупого словаря.
So, of course, immediately the entire BBT started figuring out how, so Prabhupada says, do it. There must be some way to do it, to publish all these books.
И Прабхупада, он сказал, вы должны сделать это, опубликовать эти все книги.
And the BBT was putting out requests to devotees everywhere. We'd like to, for 2 months, we'd like to, if you have any devotees in your temple who have secretarial skills or who have, are artists like that, can paint pictures for the books, please send them. For 2 months they'll come and then we'll send them back.
И Прабхупада сказал, что все, делайте это, в общем, через 2 месяца должно быть все напечатано.
And they set everything up on a 24-hour schedule.
И ученики, они составили расписание, где было все 24 часа расписано.
So 24 hours a day for 2 months, the work was being done.
И через 2 месяца вот этих вот ежедневно 24 часов все эти работы были отпечатаны.
The devotees would start, it's just like someone would be painting a picture for an illustration in the book, but when they got tired and fell asleep, then another artist would come in and continue painting their picture. And then somebody else would continue to that one. So somehow or other they were working together to get it done.
И они работали вот таким образом, что, например, художник, который рисовал картины для книг, то есть он рисовал, потом и настолько много работал, что прям засыпал там же на своем рабочем месте, потом просыпался и продолжал дальше рисовать.
When they requested devotees, if there were any devotees that could come, just at that moment, I think just the day before, 2 devotees came to the Miami temple. One was an artist and one was could type.
И также 2 преданных приехали в храм Майами. Это художник был и был этот, тот, кто на печатной машинке печатал.
So they had just a few days at the Miami temple, and then they were sent out there to help with the publishing of the books.
И через несколько дней они поехали туда, где были книги напечатаны.
Somehow or other, after we loaned our devotees there, they never came back, though. They never sent them back. But in any case, the point is that the something that seemed impossible to do, but with the mercy of spiritual master and the cooperation of the devotees involved, the books were actually, the Chaitanya Charitamrita was completely published within that 2-month period.
И через 2 месяца преданные все напечатали, вот, и в этом, как говорится, сила милости духовного учителя.
And every, they only were doing very small printings of small quantity printings of the books, just to get some book, get it out. So every temple, at least in America, every temple was every week, in every temple in America, we were receiving 2 volumes. So every week.
При печати этих книг, значит, каждую неделю выходило 2 тома.
We were putting offering those 2 books to our deities in the temple.
И эти книги, они предлагались в храме божествам.
And then the next week, then there were 2 more books coming in, and you can imagine you just imagine how quickly these books were coming out. In one week, 2 books were being published.
И на следующую неделю опять выходило 2 книги. И
But-
мы предлагали их тоже. Ну, то есть скорость была невообразимая.
But when the time came, it was Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja day that year. I don't remember who went there, but the devotees were very happy to bring. Here's a box, the full Chaitanya Charitamrita, and what? Huh? Rameshwar. Rameshwar. So Rameshwar Prabhu, he was in charge of the BBT at the time.
И на тот
Right.
момент вот Рамешвара, он был ответственным за BBT.
So he was the one who said it's impossible, but Srila Prabhupada said it's not impossible, do it. And so he was very happy, and all the devotees were very happy to bring those 17 volumes plus one volume of Srimad-bhagavatam to present it to Srila Prabhupada.
И это Рамешвара, он сказал, тот, кто сказал Шриле Прабхупаде, что это невозможно. И через время он ему начал приносить уже книги отпечатанные.
So the point is that we all have our particular services, we all have our particular part in the Sankirtan movement. So we need to do everything we can do, and Krishna will carry what we lack.
И мы должны помнить, что все, что мы делаем в сознании Кришны, если мы делаем это так искренне, то Кришна, Он даст все, что нам необходимо.
And that is so Srila Prabhupada described in the purport, that is spiritual strength. That spiritual strength, by that spiritual strength, even impossible things can become possible.
И Шрила Прабхупада таки описывает эту духовную силу, что это сила, которая делает из невозможного возможное.
Anyway, there's a few points on this. Any questions, comments?
Какие-то вопросы, комментарии, вот несколько моментов.
As you said, that we are in different capacities to do whatever services we could do.
У нас, как вы сказали, у нас у всех разные возможности по служению, которое мы можем выполнять.
But on the whole, we have to serve Krishna and please Prabhupada and Krishna, and finally.
Но так или иначе, каждый старается удовлетворить Кришну и Шрилу Прабхупаду.
So in the last line, the last line in the purport,
И последнее предложение
here
комментария,
Prabhupada is
Прабхупада здесь говорит,
writing that we should fight our enemy to the best of our ability.
что он говорит последним, что мы должны воевать с врагами, применяя всю наилучшие наши возможности.
But for victory, we must depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality.
Но победа будет зависеть от милости Кришны.
And this particular fighting spirit, you can see in Prabhupada.
И мы видим у Прабхупады вот эту вот духовную воинственность.
Although many a times we see that Prabhupada is presented as a compassionate, very, very merciful, compassionate person, that's there, but he is more, because we say as Senapati Bhakta.
И часто мы Прабхупаду видим и знаем как очень милостивого, сострадательного, вот с таким очень мягким сердцем, и поэтому его называют Бхакти Сенапати.
Senapati, yeah.
Сенапати Бхакта.
So the thing is, and Prabhupada, this fighting spirit, he has written in many places that accepting Krishna consciousness means you are declaring a war against the whole
Material energy.
Material energy.
Но заявляя о том, что я практикую сознание Кришны, как Прабхупада говорил, это все равно, что объявить войну всей материальной энергии.
So war means it is always people think we as crazy.
И война означает то, что люди всегда вокруг нас думают, что мы сумасшедшие.
So as you said in one of your lecture now, that Prabhupada, although he was told by his godbrothers, so many others, that you have to change your dress, You have to eat like with fork and you have to be like an Englishman to speak with English people.
И как Прабхупаде многие духовные братья его говорили, что ты должен одеваться там, как, ну, как западные люди, есть, как они, манеры их перенять, как вот, чтобы быть как англичанин.
But Prabhupada never wore English robes. Whatever English speaking people wear, Prabhupada never wore. Prabhupada was stick to his sannyas dress from the time he came till he was there in the West preaching.
Но Прабхупада, он никогда не подстраивался под вот эту другую, чужую культуру, то есть он строго всегда был в одеянии саньясы и проповедовал все ведические принципы.
And you also know that Prabhupada taught devotee Matajis or women, his women disciples, how to wear sari.
И вот вы рассказывали, что Прабхупада даже учил западных матадж, как одевать сари.
So the thing is, there is no question that if we change this dress, we can preach more nicely.
И дело в том, что это не вопрос того, что если мы оденем, если мы поменяем одежду, то мы будем проповедовать идеально.
So how to stick to that principle of like Prabhupada is done and he is successful. Although we may not be successful, at least we can please Prabhupada by following what he is saying.
Прабхупада, он был успешный, вот. Мы не такие успешные, но как по меньшей мере мы должны следовать тому, что он говорил, строго следовать.
So my question is how to stick to that particular principle that Prabhupada said and Prabhupada did these things, and it is possible, although we may not get success or not success or happiness or distress, but we are following Prabhupada and it is a declaration of war against the illusion energy.
И мой вопрос в том, каким образом привнести в свою жизнь вот эти вот утверждения Шрилы Прабхупады и его настроение, вот это, что заявив о том, что мы в сознании Кришны, то это объявление войны всей материальной энергии.
As far as preaching, as far as changing of dress or not changing of dress for preaching Krishna consciousness, it's definitely, there's not, in my experience, it doesn't require, you don't have to change your dress in order to preach. In fact, we once when our many years ago, we were doing Sankirtan in the airport. Not me, but those who were doing Sankirtan. We had our Sankirtan, our airport Sankirtan, and usually the devotees went in their Western clothes and wigs and all those kind of things, and there was a lot of selling a lot of books. And then one time, as an experiment, one or two devotees went out to the same airport, same people they're seeing every day, and when they're dressed in Western clothes, but they went out there with dhotis on. Uh-huh. They went in just this dressed dhoti, tilak, everything, and the results were approximately the same. Of course, some people were attracted because of that, and some people probably avoided them because of that. But the overall result at the end of the day was that the books that went out were the same, approximately.
So we think that people think us as crazy because we are wearing this type of robes. Maybe we are becoming so uneasy for us why we have to go like this, shikha, tilak. Better they can't relate with us. This word is there. This word, they can't relate with us.
Can't relate.
But if you extend this, if you churn this more, yesterday we were in book distribution and all. We are speaking to so many people. So many countries. They were not only from India, they were from Pakistan, they are from Afghanistan, they are from Iran, they are from so many places. And some of the people, they were stick to their dress. I mean, if you see the majority of them, some of them are Muslims. They were stick to their dress, stick to their dress code. They were so strict. And if you see the other side, Indians, with all their tank tops, skinty clothing, and they are coming from very great families. But it's gone. Culture is fully degraded. So much so that the mother and father are dressed very properly, but the boys and girls, their grandsons and granddaughters, they are more worse than the so-called Western
Yes.
people. So how to preach to them? How to tell them that you have to protect your culture? How to preach to them?
Well, partly you're going out there and still dressing in this way.
Okay.
I mean, preaching is, one thing is you preach by word and you preach by, you say, precept.
Precept.
Precept is better than, how do you say it? If you're showing a good example,
Yeah.
and you're preaching Krishna consciousness, then there will be one result. Even if you're speaking very nicely, but you're not showing the example, then nobody's going to pay any attention to you. So if you want to have a chance to convince people to be different, I mean, to change to a more Krishna conscious way, then you show by your personal example. You say, here's how it should be, and I believe in what I'm saying, because therefore I'm dressing like this, I'm preaching like this, I'm going a little further, I'm following the regular principles. I'm not a once a week, only once a week vegetarian. Are you vegetarian? Yes, on Mondays and Wednesdays I'm vegetarian.
How do you know this?
Yeah, like that. So it's not vegetarianism. Is not this day and that day and the rest of the time I've decided to not be vegetarian. I'm just trying to. No.
Yeah,
So-
it happened like that. Some people were not touching the book because they took non-veg. So they were saying, I don't want to touch the book because I took non-veg. They say like that. No, I've taken non-veg, so I should not take prasadam. But we gave them book as well, but trying to. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
One thing very important in preaching is, listen, Hare Krishna, that we have fight against Maya actually, but we don't have this fight against the Jiva, you know. Yeah. So the point is, like Prabhupada is saying that is about this fight with Maya. So if we have fight with Maya, means we want to fight the Maya within the Jiva, means the Jiva means Jiva is annulled by Maya, which means when we are preaching. But we have this fight with to remove the illusion from him, not against him actually, you know. So we should be very careful while preaching that we don't burn out that Jiva. Means
We don't what?
we don't burn out him, means we don't make him averse to Krishna consciousness. Means he lives, okay, he may take a book, he may not take a book, he may not listen to us, but then it works somewhere, you know. So, like, we should see his eternal benefit. Like in book distribution, many times it happens that we just want to go and give the book, or we just want to tell him the point. But the point is, we should not miss the point that we want to save him actually. You know, he may be adamant, but you know, that like Prabhupada with this Dr. Patel, so many hours he used to give him, because somewhere he is trying to inject Krishna conscious. Like sometimes he used to spend 2 hours, that's what I heard, hours and hours with some person preaching him. So, like there was one person, a liquor seller in Hyderabad. So he came to Prabhupada and he said, I have this liquor shop. So, Prabhupada knew his condition, that if he leaves this and, you know, if he can't leave this job of, this business of selling liquor. So Prabhupada, didn't recommend him actually. So there was like, you see the considerate part of Prabhupada is also there. And that fighting part is also there, that, like pulling a person in the crowd and saying that you're not God, you're the reverse of God, or you're a dog. Isn't it? Like that is said. Or getting a person right in the, like giving the class and pulling a hippie or some Westerner on the stage and arguing with him to the point that the program, people who sponsored that program, sponsored, or the big wigs over there, they were feeling, why Swamiji pulled this person and got angry on him. But Prabhupada was telling this point there, that with an arguing mentality, you can't, you should come with the mode of surrender. So that's the point he was trying to tell. So many things are there, but then this point of saving the jiva is very important, Somehow, if it turns out in a bad way, it's like,
Yeah, that's right. If you treat someone very bad, well, in the name of trying to make them Krishna conscious, if you treat them very badly, then they'll think these crazy Hare Krishnas, I don't want to have anything to do with them. So, and Srila Prabhupada, of course, he was expert, like you said. He was expert in preaching Krishna consciousness. Just like Srila Prabhupada would in a Srimad-bhagavatam class, or in preaching to mostly those who were already practicing Krishna consciousness, hear these verses, Swad Vidvaraho Shtagkaraya Sangsita Purusha, hogs, dogs, camels, asses, but Srila Prabhupada, of course, would preach to many people. Srila Prabhupada got many visitors, but he didn't. It's not like they walk, and many were, of course, in that category. But Srila Prabhupada didn't come in there and immediately start screaming at someone, "You're a dog, hog, camel, and ass." He didn't preach like that. He would speak very nicely. But for us who are practicing, he say, "This is the meaning of those verses." One who's like hog, dog, camel, and ass, glorify those who are basically of the same nature. So, but Srila Prabhupada was not. He didn't go and try to do like that. He was very nice to people, and it made them think, the leader of the Hare Krishna movement is such a nice person, a nice gentleman, and to see how they could, and maybe in the future they would have make some progress. There's one devotee, I don't remember who he was, but I remember the story. He was preaching very nicely, very gently to his mother for years, with sending her little books and giving whatever Krishna consciousness he could to her. And at one point she became old and she was about ready to die, and he was with her. He never pressured her. He just gave a little, attempt to give some Krishna consciousness. But just at the moment she was about ready to, as she was dying, she said, "So where is your Krishna now? Where is your Krishna now?" And then she left her body, and this devotee asked Srila Prabhupada about that, and he says, yes, she remembered Krishna. She went back to Godhead. So anyway, the point is we do whatever we can. We do what we can do to help give Krishna consciousness to others, and we also understand that everyone is coming from past. We've all progressed to some point to where we are now, and whatever we can give of Krishna consciousness to someone now will help them progress later. Maybe later this lifetime, maybe next lifetime, maybe multiple lifetimes. We don't know, but the idea is to try to give everyone as whatever Krishna consciousness they can accept at this point. Anyway, so we'll end here. We're in here now, it's getting late. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.